this I have. Okay. Hope you guys are able to see the screen. On day one we have covered the architects and all those things. Day 2 we have covered about the plugins that we have built, not only Portal plugins but outside of Portal, that is as an adopter, Portal is using knowledge. Their plugins also we have seen, like the editors as well as the players. And day 3, if I go down a little bit, okay, so desktop app, Rajesh will be covering it up. Okay, so he will cover it up a bit later once I complete the form services and the dashlets. Yesterday day 1 we did not cover dashlets. We will be covering it. The only thing is the UI will be covered. The how reports are getting generated, all those things are covered in the data stream yesterday actually. So you can check with the video whatever they have captured. Okay. Okay. So now we will be covering about form services and the UI of dashlets. First thing we will talk about form services. Why do we need form services? Actually, day 1, Sharath has already explained what exactly is a form service. It's more like a configuration that we can put it. Otherwise, what will happen is, if you build something from ground up, nobody can change it. It has to be stagnant. You keep on going to the code, change it for your needs. So we never followed that part. What we followed is configuration is very important, so that today Diksha can look like this. Tomorrow if Diksha wants to change something, we don't have to rewrite the whole code. Diksha can look different way just by configuring it. Okay, all these configurations are called as form configurations from our side. Okay, it's a form service. Again, it's a plugin which has been created in Node, and it will be okay. It has its own DB. It will be connecting to its own DB. It's again Cassandra. Okay, and it is NPM plugin. Okay, that's why I want to point it. It is a NPM plugin, and it gets initialized when Portal or Sunbird Ed backend gets initialized. Okay. Repository wise, I think.
Check the Slack.
Huh?
Check the Slack. Just open this. Just go to architecture. So, click on that.
Form services, right?
Second one is a form service. First one is architecture. Just open
Oh,
this one.
okay, okay.
Click on the link. Just explain the form service where it exists. Somebody. Below. Somebody dependency major services. Yeah, as part of that. It is Extensible Framework.
Where is it? Either I am not able to see anything or.
No, this one. Okay. You might this thing.
Okay.
It is mentioned here.
Okay. I'm extremely sorry.
Yeah, this is the front-end group.
Okay, so this is the whole architecture of Sunbird. Even our form services comes inside the Sunbird ED. Okay, so if I go with the architecture diagram of only the form services, this is the link that we have for our repo. And again, the thing is, how is the API is going to get? How is the API going to be used? Like client, any client, not only Portal being one of the client, Portal, mobile, even desktop, as well as learning service can also call these forms form APIs, and form APIs will be written in a service called the form services, and it is having its own DB. I'll explain how the DBs are structured, how is the schema of that particular DB, and this is the requests. Okay, I'll explain each and every request of that form services. Okay. Yeah, it's actually an okay. I don't want to call it as form service. It's an extensibility framework. I think on the day one I had explained that extensibility framework is not only used for forms, but also when you had publish, when your content goes to publish, if you want to give a comment, that is also done using that, using the same plugin. Okay, I'll just show you guys how exactly it is done. This is our portal code. Okay, I'll just
Again, this is just for your information. Form service, you guys don't going to do any code changes in the form service, especially.
Yeah, on
How
the
to
service level
leverage
you will
that.
not
Service
do.
level, you guys will not touch any code. Okay, so only how to configure the new forms, how those forms can be used in the portal or mobile. That's what the main agenda of this. Okay, because that's what we are not covering the form service code base and everything, because definitely there is no point of going to that code base.
Basically, the SB forms are actually correlated to form service.
Okay, form service is a backend service, right? Okay, which is APIs exposed by the form service, where you can configure, create a new form, and read what are the form that you want. SB forms is the UI layer which can render the forms data, what you configured. That data can be rendered in the SB forms. Okay, that's a UI layer. Okay. So not only for the SB forms, the form service is used in many other places. Okay, that's what he is just explaining you where it's being
Yeah,
used.
I'll zoom. Okay. So this is your portal code where we have mentioned key which are the plugins. It's called as a plugins. Has to be initiated when your portal backend starts. Okay, and the whole extensibility framework is written in a way that everything is a plugin. Each one will get started when you instantiated when the server starts or plugin is initialized. Okay, these are the plugins that we have created. One is your form services, which is extensively used in portal or in mobile app. Then your review comments. I told you when you put a review comments and all those things, that is happening using the review comments. And there is one more discussion service. I think we are not using it anymore because for discussions we have a complete new feature which has been created. Vinu is going to take the session in learn stream. Okay, he will be explaining about discussion service there. Okay, it's not a plugin anymore for extensibility framework. Okay. So these are the two plugins that are very important for us. Now let's go ahead and see how exactly it has been created. Okay.
Before you go, can you just go to microsite?
Microsite of which one?
Microsite is the link. Okay, just can you expand the link on the right side? Below. Go to contribute section.
Okay.
Yeah, that one. Data model. Just this is the data model that we are going to explain.
No, I'll explain it in the.
Just explain it like yesterday you covered already.
Yeah, I'll just go show in the code base only how is the schema has been created. Okay, here it is there, but you can read it out. I'm still okay. You can read it out from here also, or this is the extensibility framework repository. Okay, I'll just zoom a little bit so that in the video also it will be good. Okay, in this, if I go with the there is a demo app inside this only, so that you can try it out individually. You don't have to add it to anything else to test it out. Okay. So in this, if I go with the form services, this is the I think this is not zoomed enough. Is it okay now? Okay. So form services is the one which we are. I'm just opening the demo. If you see this one, here is the demo. Inside the demo, there are all the plugins which is required. I am just using the form services right now. Okay. In the form services, if you go to Cassandra and I'm sorry, not in this plugin. Sorry, I can go here. Servers. services. Sorry. What is the schema? Yeah. So this is the schema I told you when I explained in the you can directly read it from the document that we have in our microsite, or you can understand the schema. Okay. With Cassandra, when you initialize this particular plugin, what will happen is in Cassandra it will create a key space by name and hashed key underscore form underscore service. This is a key space name, okay, that we are giving it here. If you go to the initialization of the code, you can see that actually, I'll not go through that coding part of it. When you initialize, go through this code, you will understand it. When you initialize it, it will create a hash, then form underscore service, okay. What happened? Some issue with the project.
Check the connections.
Hopefully it's good now. Okay. And with this, let's understand the table. What is, again, key space, when you go with the Cassandra, key space is nothing but a, what do you call it as? In SQL, it can be mapped with the domain, or what is it called? I don't remember it in SQL right now. But it's not table. It's a, before that, database, yeah. I extremely sorry, I forgot that terminology. So the thing is, it is the database, then comes the table. So the table name will be form underscore data, okay. In that you have fields. The first field is, I think yesterday somebody asked me what are the fields which are very important with the form services. I think you are the person who asked me that question. The fields are type, subtype, okay, you can see that over here, type, subtype, action. These are the main three keys which are which determine one form, okay. Then we have component. Component is, it can be like portal, it can be the mobile, okay. And then you have, let's assume you want to create one form in your Diksha. Let's assume, just for an example I'm taking it, Diksha has 5 tabs or 5 menu items. One is home, I think home, the digital textbook, courses, and then all.
I think there's something.
Observation, in between observation or something it is there. I don't remember it. So let's assume we have 5 by default. Let's assume one of the root org ID. The root org ID means your adopter. Your adopter is each state. Let's say one state, Haryana state tells, I'm taking a hypothetical example. Haryana state says that I don't want these many tabs. I want only a tab called as all and home, and I want Haryana digital textbooks. Now how will you do that? You don't want to do, you don't want to change the default behavior of Diksha, but only for one tenant you need to change it. You can give an org ID over here which will say, okay, this form is belonging to only that org ID, and that UI can be different. Okay? Not only org ID, you can have a framework also inside it. Okay? It can be more unique. Org ID with a framework, or a framework with an org ID. Combination can be given. Okay? Then we have the data. Data is nothing but the complete JSON which will be stored in the database. That can be, I think, the JSON that Sharath explained on day 1 for the for the menu bars. You had seen that JSON, right? The whole JSON itself will be stored in the data. Okay. Then comes your created on. These are all non-searchable items, but these are important. Okay, created on, last modified on. Okay, and if you see the key, the primary key becomes combination of root org ID, type, subtype, action, framework. And I think component was added. Yeah, component is also added in that. This whole 5 combination becomes one unique ID. Okay, key. Okay, So this is the schema structure. I hope I answered your question. Yesterday you had the question. I said please bear with me till tomorrow. I'll explain you about the schema. So this is the schema. Please go through it. You have a question. If you want to introduce new schema or new values or new columns in the schema, you can do it. But as Vinu said, most of the time we don't need it. If it is required, yes, of course. Yesterday, first day or second day, I don't remember when it was, you asked we need to add validations for a form. I'll come to that. Okay. So next is our routes. What all APIs is available for these forms? Okay. I'll go with the routes. So these are the 4 routes that we have available. We have created. One is read, one is create, update, and list all. List is nothing but list all. I am calling it as list all. List means it will give you all the forms which are available in your database. Okay. So these are the 4 items. We never thought we would need delete. That's why we have not added it. And accidentally, if you delete it, it is gone. There is no backup for this. So I did not wanted to add it. So we did not add it. Okay. So yeah.
So basically, you are saying these are the 4 APIs for
Forms. Form related APIs. Only these 4 are the ones. I'll show you. I'll explain you by using Diksha only, because form APIs are open. I can access it directly without Diksha's credentialing and all. Only cookie I will be using, browser cookie I'll be using, and I'll be showing you all these details. Okay.
Before that, you told about the schema part.
Yeah, I told about the schema. Yeah.
So how to create that schema? Like
it will automatically get created when you initialize it. That's why I told you go through the code. When the plugin gets initialized, it automatically creates a schema with a hash. It creates a database with the hashed ID added to it. Then it creates a schema, table inside it, and then it creates a schema automatically.
That table is for the forms or
forms.
So for example, in forms we have to create a new field, then we have to
add it here. You have to update the schema. You have to add a default value to it. Then you have to, because you would have already had certain forms, you should have a default value for it. Then you have to publish this package and add it in portal.
So with the help of this update API, we have to update the schema yourself.
Exactly, available schemas you can update. You are, to answer your question in more precise, whenever we say update, we update the data column only. We don't update the other 4 columns which are primary keys. Okay. Only the data column which is, excuse me, only the data column which is required for you to be changed. Rest all you don't have to change on a fly. On a regular basis, you will never change it. Okay?
So how we are validating, or what's the process of updating it? Because these are the open APIs, if I'm not wrong, right?
Update will never be open. It needs your key. Read is only the open API. When I said form APIs are open, form read APIs are open. Okay. Update, even I cannot do it. Even you will not be able to do it.
That's what I'm saying. Because
only the DevOps will have a key, right? They would have given that key to certain items, certain individual developers. Only they can do it. Okay. They are the owners for it. It will not be updated by everyone. Okay.
Can you please explain about the params you are using?
I'll come to that. So you mean validations and all? No, request validators. I'll come to that.
So Rajeev, one additional point.
Huh.
Take
a mic.
So as Rajeev was mentioning that a couple of tokens will be provided by DevOps. Certain activities in the system, as we developers also do not have an access, since it's a data which impacts the system as a whole. Okay, not as a part of a web page or not part of a menu. It impacts as a system as a whole. So during the setup process by the DevOps, they create certain fallback tokens, as we discussed yesterday on the Kong part. Fallback tokens and some privileged tokens for updating the form configuration or user creation with API. So those tokens are created by and given by the DevOps itself. Wherever we mention it is with DevOps, they will have to.
I think maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, Monday.
Santosh Gandham is the one.
I don't know when it is, but tomorrow or day after. I don't have seen the schedule.
I think short Jugalbandi will be there with the
Yeah, Santosh Gandham can explain you about the tokens and all. But when I say form APIs are open, form read APIs are open, not the other things. You cannot create, you cannot update. List, I think it is usually list is open because it is nothing but a read. Okay.
List all requires the token.
Token again, huh? Okay. I don't remember it because I. Okay. Okay. So yeah, when we do a read, my friend just asked right now the key. Can you explain me the what are the methods with that you have that you guys have written? Okay. So now when we say form read, there is a first parameter which says validate request API. Okay. I'll just go inside that. This doesn't work like this for me. I don't know why. Okay. This is validation of create, validate update, validate read. Okay. So what is it doing? In the, I think you guys can read the method. I don't want to explain that method. It is validating the JSON object which is coming in. Whether it has all which is required. The type, subtype, action, component, all these things. Okay. I think subtype is optional. Whichever is mentioned as optional, it is optional. You can give it. It will take it as a primary key. If you don't give it, it will take it as star. Okay. If anything doesn't work, it will throw an exception saying that.
Just a minute, how we can define the action?
Means?
Action. Below the subject.
Yeah.
What relation we can define that?
What do you mean by action? It's a string. You did not see the. You are asking a wrong question. You did not see the schema properly then. What is schema? What is the value of it? What is the type of it? Varchar. So you are the person who is going to write the action. Okay, let me give you a simple example for an action. I want to exclude, or let's say I want to create a form for login. Okay, a form API for login. Okay, the action will be user. Sorry, the type will be user. Subtype will be let's say list. I can give any name. It's a varchar again. I can give whatever is suitable for me or suitable for the environment. The third thing that action will be login. Okay, it's again a varchar. You will define that. You will make sure that this is user friendly, which will be readable by anyone, and try to understand what is this form going to do by reading only these three: type, subtype, and action. Then you will be writing that action name. You are the person who is going to give it, not the system.
Like
Okay.
for example, if we got any ticket in which we need to do any modification in the form, like for example, we got a ticket in which in one field, there is a drop down type of field in which we have to add a value in that.
Drop down values will not come from forms.
That is for object category type of form.
Okay.
We got like for example.
That's okay. You are confusing object category with form APIs. Okay, object category definition. Okay, when you understood from learn or from knowledge yesterday, object category also has inside the object category itself. There are multiple types of forms available. One is create form, one is update form. That is totally different than this. You are getting confused with those two. That is totally different. This is totally different. A form that you are talking about, when I said object category courses, while creating, I can have 5 fields. You are trying to tell when I create a primary category of course, these are the form field values that I can give, and that can have whether it is a text box, whether it has drop down, whether it has a validation of itself, whether it is required, not required, all those things can be added there itself. It is object category definitions form. It is nowhere related to form services.
That is different.
Totally different.
And in content also we have.
Content again, same knowledge. They have a content. Content is nothing but an object category again. In the object category, there are one is collection. You will say whether the collection is courses or textbooks or let's say TV lessons or whatever you want to call it as. You can call them as a name with that actually. With that you will have forms and all. So that is totally different than this.
Okay, so what are these types of
I think you are coming for the first time.
Yes.
We had explained what are the forms. I'll explain you again. Okay, I'll use diksha.gov.in. At the top, you are seeing this home tabs and all those things. If I want to configure this particular tab, this is the form that we are talking about. Okay, or let's assume if I do an F12, if you see the network call, I'll just refresh it again. I don't know how many forms it will be read. FROMS, sorry, FORMS, hey, form, okay. So this is the form which tells me what all languages I want to use. Okay, whether I want to use let's assume when I said here, when I want to use in the preferences, I want to use bold, grade, medium, subject. That okay. So I want to use board, grade, medium, subject as my keywords, but I have not defined it as I think in the day one we said this can be used for hospital also, for agriculture also. Whether they will also use board, grade, medium, subject, it is irrelevant for them. So what is happening in Diksha, it is actually framework category 1, framework category 2. For us, for Sunbird, it is framework category 1, framework category 2, framework category 3. But for you guys, for Diksha, it is board, medium, grade, subject. Okay, this is how the form is defined. This is how it will be displayed in the UI also. If you go here, if you see this is board, this is medium, this is class. If I change this value, let's assume I change this value as, let's say board 1, or let's say I don't want to call it as board, I call it as ABCD. This will get reflected as ABCD. If I don't give anything, it will get reflected as form category 1. Okay. So if you see this one, again I had explained the same thing. Okay, the type is custom resource bundles, the subtype is global, and the action is list. That is how it has been defined. It is my, for my understanding, I have written it like this. If you want to write it in a different way, where you will understand it far better, you can write it in your way. Okay, I think there are multiple form services like this.
I have a question. Suppose I want to update a form. So what is the payload for that? On the basis of read, we can update the form.
Once you read it, then you can update it.
Same value we can pass.
If you do the same value, what is the update?
No, the thing which we want to update is that thing we will add.
No, if you read it, just for your own answer, your own question, I will just answer that. If you read it, you put it back as an update. What did you do differently?
Value not pass same, but like key is same.
The key becomes your root org ID. Sorry, if you want to give root org IDs and all, I am going with the, let's say, assume I go with default. You gave 3 items, which is not optional: type, subtype, action. Okay. If you have given these 3 and you said I want to update, only data is the one which you want to update always. Rest all remains the same. Data is the only thing that you need to give for updating. Let's assume there was a data which said, okay, in this case only, right now data is, if you see the result, data is your form category 1, in English it is form category 1, form category 2, form category 3, form category 4. I can put as Hindi, it will be Bhasha or something else. I don't know what is called as board in Hindi. I'm not very good in Hindi part of those things. So you can put it, this is for English, EN. You can put it for Hindi also. That will be reflected. Okay. You will update only this data. You will not update the other things which are primary category, sorry, primary key in the database. You will never update it, right? When you update, if you update, it is nothing but, it is not update, it is create. It will create by itself one more form. Okay. Hope I have explained. Let me just.
Like there are board, medium, grade subject.
Uh-huh.
So in under board to means states, boards are coming. If
These are only the values which you are seeing here, not this one. That is actually coming from your framework.
And if I want to reflect that value, for example, if I created a new framework and under that I created a new
You are
board.
asking in a wrong way, but yeah, you are asking in a wrong stream, but I'll answer your question. If you want to create a new framework, create a new framework, publish it, and then you have to add it for your channel. Okay. In this case, okay, I'll just show you guys this also. In this case, this is your channel ID. Okay. If you see the channel ID ka response, I'm deviating from forms. I'm extremely sorry because a friend has asked a question. I'm deviating it. These are the forms that, sorry, these are the frameworks that you have for Diksha. If you add it new, you have to add it, once published, you have to add it for this particular channel ID. You need to update a channel. There is an update channel API call is available. You have to give that framework here also.
This is for
I'm extremely sorry. I'm still deviating. I don't want to do that. If you had a question, you should have asked it in knowledge yesterday.
I asked yesterday. They had said to me, ask in this.
Actually, we have moved forward. And
Yeah, I think you are coming back with the questions, which is framework and all those things has been clearly explained. How you create a framework, a channel.
I want to ask if I want to add one more value in this.
Create a framework. Create a framework. You can add. After creating a framework, you will publish the framework. After publishing the framework, now go and update the channel. You know the channel ID. You will have the channel ID. What is your custodian channel ID? Or let's say if you want to update a Tamil Nadu ka framework only. Tamil Nadu framework is already created. You can only update it. You cannot create one more. Okay. So if you want to update one more framework, create a framework, publish a framework, go back and read this channel, update this channel.
Okay, this thing I want.
Yeah, update this channel. There are APIs for that. If you go with the Postman, you can see all the. Okay, I will just show you guys the Postman also. And Postman, SUNBIRD. Okay. I'm extremely sorry. I'm deviating from forms. I'll come back to forms again. I'm sorry, guys, because the friend has asked a question. I have to answer that. Okay. So these are the collections. If you see learn, you have, okay, I don't want to go with learn ka. Knowledge, create channel is there, create framework is there, and publish framework is there, associate framework with channel. If you can, okay, I'll just zoom it up. This is actually public. I did not do anything. It is actually search for Sunbird Postman. You will get this. It's open again. It has been documented. Okay, I'll just minimize this. If you see, you have create channel, then I don't want to go with the object category definitions and all. I don't want to cover that. Create framework. You created a framework. Publish a framework. Create master category. Sorry, master board medium grade and all those things. I don't want to cover those things. I'm just skipping that part. Publish the framework. Okay, once you publish the framework, associate framework with channel. Okay. So if you, okay, overview. Okay, I'm extremely sorry. Yeah, this one. So if you see, you are giving a channel ID and you are giving the name of the framework. In the channel, you will give the channel ID. That's all.
Like for example, I have created a framework for Tamil Nadu tenant. Okay, so I have to link it with Tamil Nadu also, and then custodian or board medium grade also I want to.
Yeah, if you want to see it in the custodian org also, you have to give it.
Then
Tamil Nadu will automatically come in Tamil Nadu, right?
yes, it will come when I log in into that.
Yes.
But in custodian, for
You have to add it.
custodian also
You have to add it. Yes.
2 times I have to add.
Yes. If you are creating one which is specific to one of the states, yes, you have to. Okay. I am going back from Zoom. Okay. No, actually I had zoomed it, but I came out. That's all. Okay. How is this? I don't know. This Postman is not very user friendly. Okay. Fine. So we will come back again. I'm extremely sorry, guys. We had deviated from what we were supposed to go ahead with. Yeah. we have completed the form service. Yeah, schema we completed. Then routes, we saw what are the routes available. And with the routes, each one has a validation. Just go through the validation. You have an open source available. Go through the validations. You can get it out and see and understand. And get, if you, I think if you see, iOS ka form middleware, which is nothing but it is written for iOS. Okay. Similar to that, yesterday you were talking about I want to write a validation only for mobile. You can write it out and only give it, if it is mobile and Android, then only do this, or skip it out. Okay. It is actually written in a way that you can customize it as you require. Okay. Again, create validations. It will purely see whether all all mandatory items are there or not. Then only it will create it in the DB. Okay. Fine. I'll go with the methods, which are very essentials. I don't want to go with request validators right now. I'll go with server. So these are your methods. You create, you update, you read, you list all, and this is nothing but whenever any method is completed, success method or failure method. If you want to go through that, I'd say dig. Sorry, why is this? Okay. Dig deeper. Try to understand it. Any questions you can ask it when you go through the code. Okay. I don't want to explain this how to create and all those things. It is nothing but an Cassandra create. Okay. We are using this. If you see this somewhere, it is save async. This is the method which will be creating the Cassandra database or something in the table. Response. Convert to lowercase. Yeah, this is the one. Okay. Cassandra instance dot form data. This is the whole data which will be created as a module inside that DB. Okay. As a row inside the DB. Okay. Fine. I'll go with some of the forms that we have, which will explain you what is a form, how are they getting used, all those things I'll explain you. Try to explain. I'll take one or two example. One is example that Sharat has already taken, the menu bars. Okay. I'll take a different one. I don't want to explain the same thing again. Okay. So I'll take a different one. In this case, let's say. Here in Diksha only, when I'll just open Diksha in a incognito mode, because the forms are actually cached. Every time it will not go and hit the DB and come back again. It is cached. In your browser only it is cached. So I don't want to do that. I will just say diksha.go.in.explore RAD. Yeah, why is this not showing the pop-up? Okay, this is, okay, I'll just close it. I'm extremely sorry guys. There were two incognito modes, it is already cached in one. That's why it did not show the pop-up also. Okay. Okay. Now, we saw that, okay, there is a pop-up here which says there are 4 types of users. I want to add one more. How will I do it? Whether I have to write the code again? There is a form for it. Okay, I'll just go with user read. I just want, we cannot see that explicitly which form is what, because all are form reads only. I have to go through one by one. Let's say custom resource not required, onboardings not required, generalized this is not required, content types not required, menu bar. This is menu bar. Yeah. So this is the form for user types. If you see the form, it says this is a configuration type and subtype is user type. Okay. Types of users. Okay. That's why we have given the name as user type. And the action is you are getting it. Okay. So if I see this one, in the data, the fields are what you are seeing right now. Your teacher, your student, Okay, there is a catch. Administrator has been renamed. Code is administrator, but the name is head teacher and officials. That is what you are trying to see it in the top. Okay, and then you have a parent, which is there, and there is one more called as others also. If you see here, come down, there is others. If you want to add one more, you have to add it. Only thing is, it will not come with the image. You have to add that image in the assets. Okay, because it is again it's a dummy. It's not coming from CDNs. It is available in your this thing. So you have to put that asset inside. Okay. We tried to understand what is a form, how is it getting read. Okay. The form read is again same. I think when we showed it on day one, we showed a Versal app which tells us all about the forms. I think I'll just see if I have it. SB hyphen how is it really? Hey, my eyes, I don't know, something is happening with my eyes. I'm not able to see it properly. Okay, this is actually developed by our own developers, and this is exposed as a Versal app. Versal is in free source, open source. I think he has only developed it. So that just for Postman is too hard for us to keep on using it. So we said we will write something in our free time and try it out. Okay. So on his interest, he has written it. Okay. So I want to go with let's say I have my own staging environment, that is Diksha, sorry, not Diksha, I'm extremely sorry. It has Sunbird staging environment. So these are the forms. This is actually what is happening is, if I see this function F12 and in the network, I'll just zoom this. I'll just refresh this. If you see the API which was called as, I'll go here in the headers. The API which was called as API slash data slash v1 form slash fetch all. That is the API which was exposed to get all the forms. Okay. So these are the forms. If I want to search for a specific form, let's say we just saw one user type, right? USERTYPE. Okay.
You might find some duplicates.
You might find duplicates because it is a testing environment for us. Okay. You will find a lot of duplicates in this. We are keep on writing it.
We have
Okay.
around 200 plus.
We have 400 plus.
400,
Okay. So when you click on this, actually what is happening is, okay, not here, I think here, you can see the form read happened. If you see this one, this is nothing but the form read for that particular, if you see the payload of this, it will be config get user type. That is what it is trying to fetch, combine it and send it as a fetch. And this is again exposed as open. Means if you have the token, then only you will come to use it. We can update it from here also. I don't want to show it right now. So because it is the key that I have is not updatable. Okay. So staging keys, our QAs will have it. We will not have it. Only for dev, I have it. I can update it. If you go with dev, it is more than 400 forms that we have created. Okay, 400 plus. Even in my local, I have a copy of it. I have a DB installed in my local also, and I have kept on doing that. Okay, so this is what it is. You have a read. When you change something here in the JSON formatter and try to save, it will call the update API. Okay, it has been integrated in a way that like that. You can write your own and try it out. Okay, any doubts in forms?
Like you have said that if you want to add one more user, you have to add there in the we have to update the form.
You have to update here over here. I'll just show you actually. I'll just show you. This is a teacher. This is a student. This is an administrator. This is a parent. There is another. You can add one more.
Yeah, for linking the asset, also we have to write the image that thing, the asset which we have created.
Okay, if you have an asset already in your folders, right? You can write that same name and it will get the same asset ID. But if you are giving a new asset, you have to put it right. Otherwise, it will try to download. It will say 504, asset not found, data not found, or the asset is coming as a in the internet only, right? It is not coming from anywhere. If it is there in your bucket, it will be there. You will get it. Or you can point it to this image can also be a URL which is a S3 bucket or Azure bucket, or you can have your own OCI bucket and point it here. You can still, it will still work. Okay.
To add on this, we talked about on the day two yesterday that this label, what we are saying, it is not a string. So it will be transposed using a resource service. So everything will be dynamic. So nothing will be hard coded. This image also, okay, I'm not sure, this may be a test form config. Okay, this image, it will be in the portal. So when we see the prefix of this image, okay, you will see that we will be pointing to /assets/images, so and whatever the image name it is. So this image will be already there in the assets folder of the portal code base. If in that case, if it is an actual web URL, it will directly load from the whatever the respective URL or the bucket name.
You can pass the URL.
Yes, you can pass. I mean, see, you can write configuration in any way. I know you can define it in any way, but the implementation of that form config from the consumer side, I know it should be generic. If you are passing a web URL, sorry guys. So if you, this is an image and it's having a name and the extension. If you are passing a web URL, there should be a flag that will differentiate or distinguish between a static image or it's a web URL, right? Or you should have some mechanism on the tag itself to whatever I pass, you can try to render, or a fallback is a no image available or something kind of a thing. So there is no hard fast rule for constructing this form config. You can write in your own JSON structure, and you can make it complex or simple, but implementation on the consumer side should be straightforward.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this completes the form configuration. I think form service. I have given you the schema. I have given you the APIs. I have given you how the validation works, and the API from the API how it is going to create it in the Cassandra. The base is Cassandra. Okay. Why I am saying only Cassandra is here. If you see in the schema, okay, not here. I am extremely sorry. Here, if you see this one, and if you see the schema, it is clearly mentioned at the top. What is the type? It is Cassandra only. Okay. Yeah.
Channel specific form config mentioned.
Adu heladnalla. So I told that every channel can have its own channel specific channel form configuration. I think in Diksha they have created. I don't remember any if they have created, because when they asked me how to create and all, I have given them the KT at that time, long back, not right now. So long back, around 2 years back.
I think
So
if I remember properly, we have something form config to load the state logos when they come from state list. Channel specific logos we are loading.
Logos are coming actually dependent on this tenant actually. It's tenant specific. I don't think, I don't remember right now what was it, because it's too long back. Okay. So you guys can see in the forms. If you see the form that I showed you right now, we have okay, I am extremely sorry. So here if I go back, right, I want to close it. Here the root org IDs and are empty. Okay. So there are specific things where in root org ID okay, let's say.
Actually, this is a tool for internal. Don't try.
We got that.
Because the fields are empty, because we thought of a future roadmap that in case we are updating or creating a new one, will append the timestamp and we'll have a quick glimpse on when this was created and when this was updated, and the documentation link for that particular form config. What would be that? That's a roadmap. Don't worry about much on it.
Okay, I think I don't have anything as of now in our staging environment. I can just check it out in this thing only, in your Diksha environment. I will just go with the Diksha environment itself. It is very hard actually, but yeah, I can show them.
I mean, we have the feature of creating a form config specific to channel and specific to channel ID. Okay, so that
I think it is already here. Root org ID. I don't have to search for too much. It's already created for this particular root org ID. Okay. Only for if they, I think they have created for both. I don't know how why they have created that. If they wanted only for this particular custodian org, they did not wanted others, they could have deleted it. And still it will work as only 4 will come, the others will not come. But for other organizations, all 5 will come. It is configurable in that way. Okay. Okay, any questions on form services? I'll switch over and go back to dashlets, which is reporting. If you have any questions, you can ask me right now.
Yeah, so yeah,
Oh, we are 1 hour already.
Fine tune and to get used to this form config, the portal will be more easier for you.
Yeah, not only portal, everything like it's a configuration.
Yes.
Even mobile uses the form configuration. I think Swayanjit, when he comes and explains, he has I think he has a topic for form configuration. Yesterday, maybe when you went into that learn this thing, you had locations, right? User locations. That actually goes with the form configuration. There is a form configuration for user location also. Okay. So,
disclose this developer config.
yeah.
So as we use the system, right? When we look at this page, for example, so when we look at the page, we understand that okay, which all the form configs will be called, like menu bar, the filters, and the layout form config, how many cards should be displayed. So we get to know when we see the page, okay, these are the form configuration is triggered. So that level of, you have to play around on the form configuration. Play in the middle, like you have to open the console and see like this page, what are the form configurations are called. You have something relation with the page and the form configuration.
And even I want to add one more thing. Even when you see this one, right? I'll just close all these pop-ups.
This 4
right
icons also.
Yeah.
I need to show this 4 options. That's also from form.
This also comes from a form configuration. This is again, it is one form.
The drop downs you're saying here? Or
These values of the drop downs, like these drop downs has to be shown, because if you see this drop down properly, you register a new user, same pop up comes, but with a one more additional subject also will be there.
right.
It is the same drop down. There is no difference in the drop down.
Like I have asked you if I want to add one more board value, so here also
You don't need to add it here. It is coming from this org 001. You see, there is a API call which went here. Or let's say if I want to add a new, let's say I want to use others ka framework will be called, and all these data will be added here. It is nothing but the in the channel when you update, that is the one place that you need to update. Once you publish the framework, update it in the channel, and you will get it. That's it. You will be happy. When you select one board, only catch is the board name and the framework name should be identical. Just check with the documentation. I am not the correct person to answer that. It is from knowledge. I think you have already gone through the taxonomy service. They should be the correct person to answer that question. Name of the board and name of the framework should be identical. Okay.
So,
and one more thing is, what I wanted to show you guys was more important than that. If you see here, right? We got all these pop-ups. I don't want to go with these pop-ups right now. I'll just close these all pop-ups. This drop-down that you are seeing, the languages, this is also configuration. This is not hard-coded anywhere. If you want to add one more language in this, there is one more form which is called language list or something. I don't remember it right now.
search it in Vercel. You'll find it easy.
I don't remember the name. Na?
Search for language in the Vercel.
Segmentation, request, customization, user framework.
I think
Okay.
that will be
Okay.
loaded initially.
It is loaded initially itself.
Okay. So we are talking about this form service. We are telling like each page has a lot of form configuration getting called, JSONs we are creating. So can anyone, based on your understanding, can you tell us like why this was decided like this? Are we, because why I'm asking is, do we have any, right now, do we have any idea like why we have so many JSONs in the application?
Yeah.
It can be a non-technical or layman or anything based on.
This is the form actually. It is resource bundle. If you see here, it has clearly mentioned ki what all resource bundle. EN will be English, Hindi, you have Kannada, you have Marathi, you have Bengali, Tamil, Telugu, Urdu, Assamese, Odia.
How many JSON is, if you go to the Cassandra table,
Pardon me?
a large JSON bundle, the data saved in the Cassandra table, right?
No, saving the JSON. Let's forget about like how it is saving or. So
No,
why we have this
you
mechanism?
can go through the code. I'm still okay
No, you-
to answer that question. Please, this is an open source.
No,
Go
Rajeev,
through the code.
question
What
was-
is he is
question was why we have such a configuration? I'm asking. So our friend is telling like it is getting stored in Cassandra.
Oh, is it?
right?
Okay, you are not asking the question.
No.
Okay, you are answering.
It's
I
on a
thought,
different question
how is
plate.
it going directly into the Cassandra? I'm
So,
extremely sorry.
yeah.
If it is, you can go through the code for how is it going.
Trying to get everyone aligned on the same
Okay, okay.
Because this is more crucial than what we are
So like I think it's to keep it more configurable, and it also acts as a contract, API contract for syncing both, like for talking to the services.
Absolutely. I am looking for one more point, which is the actual core agenda for this implementation. So, anyone want to take a chance?
This side. Since Sunbird is being adopted by so many entities, external entities, so I think externalize or generalize these things, I think come into picture. I mean, we want to make sure that every adapter is able to, change it flexibly.
Yes.
So that is one thing I can think about.
Yeah. So, okay. Having all these points are valid to add more value to the question and the answer, but the main agenda is like tomorrow. Let's say we have a requirement to add a language. Let's take language as an example. Okay. Tomorrow we need to add some other language which is not available. Like let's say Malayalam is not available. We need to add it. So ideally, we we go and update constants file in Angular applications, and then we build and. So here it is not required. You just upgrade your form config. Your app will automatically run on the next refresh. That dynamicity and number of deployments reduction, that is more focused key area in the form config.
Reworking of the code. So the main thing is reworking of the code. If you want to add some value in the dropdown, usually in standard development, what will happen?
Constants.
You will go update the constants, create re-trigger the build, deploy it. How much time it is gone? You have to again send it to QA. You have to send it again to the QA, and then only you have to sign off. Do you need that? Just update the form configuration.
This also can be solved very easily, but you have to publish your downtime to the
Kill
stakeholders.
Selva.
And you make ensure that.
On Agila.
Low battery. So you have to ensure that your end users are not facing any downtime. But just a small fix, right? So to address all these concerns, right, we sort of like, okay, tomorrow if they say I want the cards to be, only 3 cards to be shown, fine. It's just 1 minute change of form configuration, you will see the changes reflecting on your page immediately.
Flexibility is the basic purpose.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's the core agenda of this complete form service implementation. We don't have any rework in the service level, like as Rajeev was mentioning, we don't need any code changes in the NPM package or any enhancements like created on timestamp that you can provide.
Yeah, those things, versioning, if you want to have a delete functionality, where you want to soft delete, you can still go ahead and contribute it. README file is there, how to install, all those things can be, have a look and contribute it back. But as of now, we did not feel that it is required as of now. Okay.
So once
And
the
it is
form
again iteration.
Yeah, once the form config is decided and it's been handshake has happened between the front end and the other stakeholders, so it remains as is.
Where do we store that exactly? Where exactly do we store this form configuration?
Cassandra. Cassandra table. I told you that just
The request, subject, and everything else.
everything is.
But we are always, making these parameters available in the request, and then things flag, on the fly.
No, it is stored. If you see the schema, there is if you see the schema, table name is this table name. Fields that for this particular schema are, one is type, subtype, action. Those are the main things that I told you in the request also. This is the field, main fields. Then comes the component. If I only want it for portal, send the component also. It will only work for portal. And then it goes with root org ID. You can add that root org ID also. Now, You want a framework also, you can add it. Then this is the data, which is nothing but the complete JSON that you saw just now in the Vercel app. When we clicked on edit, you saw the JSON, right? This is nothing but this data.
Your custom JSON will sit here.
Only when you update, you can update only this. You cannot update anything else. If you update anything else, that means you are trying to create a new one.
Yes.
Okay, create a new form. Actually, it will not work. Update will not work if you change anything. It will directly say there is already a copy
Form
available.
does not exist.
No, there is a copy already available. In the update, if you try to update these things, it will say form does not exist. If you try to create twice the same form, right, it will say form already exists. Okay.
So, okay, do we have these forms? I mean, probably this is something for these guys. Do we have a form entry available for every state or something in the Cassandra? I mean, is there a mapping between? I mean, maybe I'm asking the wrong question here. I don't really know.
That's fine, that's
But yeah, so when you say this is present, so what is the instance mapping between forms and the the states or the boards that are available here?
Okay, I can give you one answer for that. Forms are, there are two types of forms. One is global form, which is available for everyone. Let's say Diksha. Everyone has a same form, like your all tabs that you have at the top of.
Right. Yeah.
Or languages, we can take it. All we don't want to take menu bar. We just want to take languages. It is global for everyone. Or languages we cannot take, because if Tamil Nadu says I want only in Tamil and English.
No, we don't have that
Okay.
scenario.
Yeah, as of now, in Diksha, languages are public. For everyone, it is one form only. But if, let's say, tomorrow Tamil Nadu says, my Tamil Nadu ka UI only has to show English and Tamil. I don't like Hindi at all. I don't want to go with Hindi in Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
I don't want to show it at all. It's not a national language anymore. It's not a national language at all. So I don't want to show it. I don't want Marathi because I don't know what is Marathi. I cannot speak also. I cannot have a language also. Okay. So in the drop down, what they can do is they can create their own form which says when the org ID is Tamil Nadu ka org ID, only Tamil and English will be there. Okay. You try to got the essence how this form works.
Okay.
But I don't know how many are there for Diksha. How many forms are there for specific organization. You can try a query in the DB. I think I have shown you the DB name. It is form_DB, but it is not only form_DB. There will be a hashed key which will be created in above it, before it actually. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I was trying to look for some kind of reference or wiki for this particular thing. I found something. So can you just confirm if I'm looking at the right place?
Rajesh, can you just have a look?
One place where it has mentioned like Cassandra and then it's specific like every this was just an example of that. But basically those like these things, so like what do they do? Every individual element, what is the
Yeah, I got it. So what does that key indicates for the purpose you're telling, right? So I would say that action or component or subtype what we are looking at it, right? So it means that for that JSON what you're writing, okay. Let's say for we have a custom JSON what you have introduced. How do you search it? Like in the pool of JSON, you need to have something hooks. Okay, for this and for this and for this, give me this JSON. Let's take an example of the board medium grade subject. So when you want to search for a subject, first we do a board and then a medium and then subject and the language, right? So we need something to categorize the JSON. Actions, yes, actions. Under actions, let's say we have 4. Under 4, we have another subtypes. So the drill down of fetching the data. That's all the intention between the action and subtype and component. A component is pretty straightforward. Like, do you want it for portal or do you want it to get on? And the channel indicates straightforward. If I want to specifically for Karnataka channel or Tamil Nadu channel. So action and subtype is nothing but, so what is that? Action is get. Okay. Now get is an action. What is the subtype? Okay, you get me all the language. So language is an subtype. It can be, the definition or how you construct for that. It's on your discretion.
So basically, what I'm asking is, are you guys clear about the available form elements and configurations and what they do in the front end?
So for that, we have to.
Because the requirements are, having from the front end side that you want to do this, you want to do that. So are you now clear what kind of configuration is available in the form survey and how you can achieve the user requirement?
Basically, like what I do is
Okay, just for your example, I have started my own Cassandra. This is in my local. Okay, I don't know why it is. Okay, I'll just minimize this. Give me 1 minute. Okay, hope this is visible. Okay, I'll just zoom it up. So it will be prefixed by a key that I told you. It's a hash key that gets created, and this is your key space. The date, if I go and cd, or you use q sl or des describe tab. Describe tables. This, when you say describe tables, it will show what are the tables available. If you say, I don't have anything right now because I created it day before yesterday itself. I cleaned it up. Form underscore data. So, okay. I have to use, use for q something.
So I can write another example. Okay, we will say we have a user data. How do you select user? Like, I want to list the users of the use from Karnataka. Select start from user where say this is
Exactly,
equal to Karnataka. Transpose it into action. And
So,
content.
this is the table.
Form quantity where action is equal
Exactly.
to
So basically, I don't really have the full picture. Probably these
Okay.
guys do. I'm just-
So this is in my local. There are 0 records. Okay, I have cleaned it up.
Exactly, yeah.
And if you see, when I started my services, the review comments also came, discussion service also came, as well as form services. All these three, because I used it as all 3 plugins has to be initiated, all 3 came, okay, in Cassandra.
Can you scroll down? I missed what you were showing.
Yeah, only tables. How is it
Just
created?
okay. So this is the table which stores the configuration.
It is in my local, in my machine only. Okay, I have a Cassandra and I have created that
What I
instance.
was asking is, do you know the effect of changing these individual elements over here?
You cannot change these things. You can not change this.
No, change
You
in the
will.
sense the data added in those fields.
Ha.
So what they do on front end, independently. That is what you have to understand, right?
I want to know what's the component about that.
What was it? Somebody is laughing. So much joke. Hey, AC on ಮಾಡ್ಸಪ್ಪ. Okay, I think that's it from.
Hold on, Rajesh.
I closed it.
That's fine. That's probably okay.
Yeah, you want to open? Open that? Okay, again I can do that.
Actually, I had found a page which explains that type, subtype, and then some sample data also. So that would be really helpful for these guys. But that was buried down somewhere. Like, I couldn't easily find out from the.
Microsoft, like, it's built in a kind of a workflow thinking in a workflow. You need to navigate one by one. So this is something organized way of it.
Okay.
Just want to click.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Which one? The first one. Yeah. Okay.
We'll all move to that room for 5 minutes.
We'll come back to the things in. So my wife is coming. Coming. Okay. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Can you come here?
I'll be. Give me 1 minute. I'll just switch on the.
So this is basically the
Data model.
design.
Yeah.
So what I was expecting is, something like the available values for each element and what is their impact on the UI.
No, I
That kind
don't
of thing.
think. No, that is actually depend. See, the thing is, these data models can take these varchars.
Yeah.
You have to specify which is required for you. Let's say Diksha, they have already specified. So I don't know what are they, right? It is there with Diksha. We have built this form configuration in a global way. Ki it will take these values. Let's say it will take type, subtype, type, subtype, and action. Now, what is the value of type? It is meant by created by Diksha, not by Sunbird.
Not person. Okay.
We would have created some items like the menu bar. It is created by Sunbird. We call it as menu bar, and for each one, I think you same as list all, right? list all, you can understand what is the type, what is this thing. Individually, you can see that one. Okay.
Okay.
So then you can find out what is this used for.
That is what I'm looking for actually.
You have to do it. For Diksha, I will not be able to explain you guys.
Got it.
Okay, I'll just show you guys this. Give me 1 minute. Maybe here I have, where is the Diksha? Explore search. Yeah. This is Diksha F12. Okay. This is somewhere else actually. I don't want this.
It's actually hot now.
Yeah, it's too hot. Rajeev. Yeah.
I got it.
So Rajeev, basically you're telling all the form configurations that portal uses, right?
Not all.
Not all?
I am telling what is form configuration, how is it used. And there are APIs to which you can read it and understand it on your own. I am giving you the background.
Okay.
Now, what all forms are there? That is your, I'll give you the postman also, how many forms are there and all those things. Okay. So, those things you can have a look. I'll, give me 1 minute, I'll just open this curl command and say import control form list unauthorized. Okay. I don't have a list all. I think again list I don't have I don't have access. This is Diksha. List all will not work for my, this is a read API, so I don't have credentials. Okay. So you can list it on your own.
We will play with that.
Yeah, so but what I will do is, I'll, again the postman that we had, right, I think we had seen this postman APIs, all the postmans of Sunbird, I told you just Google it out. Here if you go to workspace, again I go to ed and say, let's say portal framework forms, Sunbird forms. You have, okay, you have certain items here, portal form configurations.
Rajesh, there are a couple of links to Gitbook, but they are not accessible to me. So what do I need to do?
Gitbook links is not accessible.
I mean, links to Gitbook on this page. I tried accessing that, but then it says I'm not authorized. So do I need any particular access? What?
Go ahead, please, Mike. There is nothing like so stupid.
Like for courses or book, when we click on the create, the editor or the form opens up.
The pop-up opens up with the name, description and let's say what type of content.
That's for the book. And for the course, it
Directly opens the editor. Yeah.
with the,
There's a new editor.
with
That's,
the fields. So those are also configurable.
those are configurable. Yes, those are configurable, but not from this form. That's why I told him the answer. It is actually object metadata. There is something called as object category, right? In the object category courses, they have a form for create, form for update, form for edit. Those are inbuilt forms directly. They are also forms, but they have their own structures available. Like let's say name is mandatory. It is told as name is a text box and it is mandatory. Required is true.
Yeah, what is mandatory,
Huh.
what is non-mandatory.
And you can remove them. You can remove some of them. Yeah, yeah.
That form.
That form. It's actually object category definition. Okay, I can show you that here itself. If you see this one, master category master category is here. Okay,
So all Postman links are on this page only, right?
Yeah.
Okay, they are on this page at one point.
So framework. This is framework category. Where is object category? Other categories, object category. E-textbooks.
Yeah, I'm just looking for some Postman and then following Google.
So if you see this one, in this I think if you see, this is only object category textbook. Object category certificate template.
My wife will run it.
Assets. And this you should have something. Object category definition. Yeah. think here you can mention it, object category. I'm extremely sorry guys, this UI is not so user friendly. If you see here, right, object category, you have a schema similar to that. You will have configurations in this. It doesn't have it too much here. Let's say
For textbook.
this is for textbook unit. Okay, for digital textbooks, I think you can. I don't know whether it is there. Whatever form that is there, I don't know whether they have the complete forms also added here. Yeah, it is added. Additional category is there. Where is the forms for this? In the category definition config itself, you can add actually. Schema, category definition, read. Okay, I don't have it with me. Here it is, it's not having as such for this. Let me just see. Object category definition. Anyways, I don't have an idea where exactly it is. This is knowledge. This is basic configuration. Collection trackable. Yeah.
This is course item.
Framework, primary category, but where is it? Channel update is there, primary category, read. I think you should go through this. I am not very clear on this. I think in Learn they have already covered this one. Okay, I'll not cover this. Maybe in Knowledge they have covered that. Okay. So here if you go, there are form, if you see this one, there are form configurations, which are the forms and which is required for what. Like let's say pre-launch launched forms, if you open that, right, there are something like exclude, this one says to exclude onboarding pop-up. Okay, so all the description are here, whatever you were asking. Why is it, if I open it more, right, you have read also here. Read will explain you what exactly it is. It says type is user, onboarding and exclusion. That means when you are onboarding a new user, if you don't want in some of the routes, we don't need that pop-ups to be shown. Like just an example I'll show you. Okay. Diksha.gov.in. Somebody gave me this particular route, which is saying that so this is your route. This is nothing but one of my friends said, okay, register yourself in Diksha. He gave me this particular link. He gave me the sign up path only. I can still go from Diksha, then go with Explore, then log in, then I can go. But one of my friend showed me, okay, there is a sign up available here. Try this one. Now, do I have to show him whether you are a teacher and all those things? Because he came already for signing up. Do I show him all those? For the first time when we come, we keep on showing that pop-up, like whether you are a teacher, whether you are a pop-up. But for sign up, we don't need it. So that's why we said you don't need the pop-up in these routes. That is what this particular form says. Exclusion pattern for these forms. If you see the create, we would have mentioned which all exclusions we need. One is certificate. When you have to validate, let's assume her certificate. She brought a certificate for employment. Came in. She got a certificate. I have trained in Diksha ka course. Ye wala. So she gave you that certificate. Now you have to validate whether it is a valid certificate or not. What you will do? You will have a QR code. You will scan it and see whether it is a valid certificate or not. Because she would have done editing on that. If you want to see the validation, you have to validate it. Now, for the validation, when you went to validation, do you need the pop-ups? Whether you are a teacher, whether you are, you don't need it, right? You can exclude it. Like that, for sign up also, you don't need it. Then recovery password. Again, you don't need it. You don't need the pop-ups to be shown. And sign in. When you are signing in, you don't need that pop-ups. And dial code. When you search for a dial code, you don't need that pop-ups. So all these things can be excluded. Tomorrow there is one more route that you say, I don't want to show that pop-up in this route also. I can add that here. Okay. Similarly, this is one thing. Similarly, you can go with, what is it? To give the name of the framework categories. Let's say it is mentioning And this is optional. O is optional, M is mandatory.
Okay.
Only for Diksha, it's already been created. You guys don't worry. But a new adapter comes for Sunbird, we have to tell them which is mandatory forms, which is optional forms. This is optional, because if they don't write it also, the pop-up will come. They don't want it, they have to write it. It is not breaking their flow. Okay. So, but if you don't add it, the name will be shown as framework category 1. They have to add it. That makes mandatory. Okay. So, the O and M says whether it is mandatory or optional. All the forms are here. Please go through it.
Okay, so this is an exhaustive list of all the forms and
All.
available values and
Exactly.
configuration.
Create as well as read. Both are there.
Okay.
And how the values are getting stored at the backend. For example, in the fields you have given search, sign up, recover, all these things.
That's a data, right? It's it's not
You have
fields.
to give, so the
It is
data.
inside the data. If you see, it is inside the data. The whole data object will be taken and kept it in the Cassandra.
So every time we have to do the read first, and then based on that we have to do an update.
Exactly. You got it. You don't have to update it directly. You have to read first. Whatever was the read, if you want to add something else, merge it.
Old value plus new value.
If you only put the new value, the old value goes off, new value comes and sits. That's why we say forms should be very, very careful. We don't give form update access and create access to everyone.
And we should keep the backup also.
That is your this thing. I don't want to talk about the backups and all. Yeah. Okay. Hope forms are now clear. This is again open, available for everyone. Go through it. Have any questions? Discussion thread is always there. Create a discussion thread.
Yeah. Just that the link to this page, should be available on that.
In the Google, it is just search for Sunbird Postmans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I found on Google only.
Yeah.
The one on the page, I mean, where we were having this.
that link is broken.
That link was
The
broken.
link is
I mean, I couldn't get to this particular page through that.
Oh, the link is broken, is it? Okay. We will fix it. I didn't test it actually. We didn't test it. The guy who has created it may not have tested it. Maybe he tested it in his flow. It worked. Maybe he has not tested it. We will ask him to create it properly.
From where exactly we get this connection?
Sunbird. Go search Sunbird Postman. Just do it in Google.
That's exactly what I did. Okay, so as a developer, this is what you should. I mean, as a developer, you should have Google first thing in your mind. Whenever you want looking for something, just search for it.
I have another question.
Yeah,
So
please.
the batch level also inside the course, even is that the batch pop-up, create batch, that is also configurable?
As of now, as I remember, this is actually around 3 years back we did it. I don't remember it, but it is not configurable because it is already defined कि we needed the batch ka name, batch ka description, and start date, end date, and enrollment end date, and then we needed a mentor for the batch, and whether it is a open batch or closed batch, that is not there right now in Diksha. So in Sunbird both are there actually. Then is whether you need certificates, discussion threads, and all those things.
Yes.
It is non-configurable. But discussion thread and certificates is still configurable. Rest all templates. Templates or certificate you have to push it first. Master templates you have to push it to the this thing as a content. Okay. So guys, I'm more or less done on the this empty primary category. Okay, this is not mine. Forms or something different. Okay. So I'm more or less done on the forms. If you have any questions on forms, I'm still okay. Okay, I'm not still okay. You can put it in the discussion thread. I'll run it with. Now I'll go with one more thing called as reports. Okay, there is a thing called for the reports. What we again said was reports should be available for portal. Reports can also be seen in mobile also, as well as if tomorrow desktop wants to see the reports, they can also see it. Now, do I have to write it 3 times? Yesterday we have already seen. Write it once, use it multiple times. For that we call it as SB-dashlets. Okay. Again I am going into the same how to come back out of this. Yeah, how to come back from this editor version to normal. Huh? It will go. Okay, nice. Thanks a lot. So, okay. So in the Sunbird ED only, if you search for SHLET, SB-dashlet, okay. So this is master. I don't want to go with masters. Let's say 14 migration 14. So SB-dashlets, how can be built? Hope everyone is able to see that. So how to install, what all things are there, all these explanations are available, and versioning also with Angular 14. Okay. So this is your dashlet, and dashlets has charts and then tables, and you have final downloads, all these options available. I'll not go through the coding of it. I'll just go through how it has been used in the Sunbird. Okay. So if I go back again, this is the Sunbird dashlet. Okay, I'm sorry. This is the Sunbird dashlet repo. It is again inside the Sunbird ED project only, and it is called SB-dashlet Sunbird. SB is Sunbird. Okay. Again, go back. I will only the Extensibility Framework is in Project Sunbird, not in Sunbird ED. It is totally in Project Sunbird. Okay. It's not in the Sunbird ED this Git. Okay, I'll go back to Sunbird ED. Don't want this discussion. Okay, I will go with 5.1.0.6, which is the latest patch of 5.1. This is one I think you guys are using also. Yesterday we saw that Diksha is using which version. I think if I will reduce this just to see. 7066841. This was the one which I think Diksha, when we went with let's say F12, if we go here and see the version, it is okay. It is not the latest one. It is still 9181. Okay, maybe some older ones. Okay, I don't want to go with that part. Okay, how are we using our dashlets in Sunbird Ed? That's what is the thing that we want to see. If I go to the coding wise structure of this. Client, okay, package.json. In the package.json, you can see this particular, where is SB-dashlets? Def as well, SB-ds. Okay, so it's actually exposed as a npm version, and it clearly says v9. But if I go and change it to SB-dashlets of 6.0.0, we have removed the v9 because it is no more Angular 9 application. I'll just change it here itself. Okay. Okay, I don't want to change it here. I'll just change this to 6.0.0. And source app client package.json def SB-dashlets. Okay, that 6. If you see in 5.1 version we had -v9. That means it is version 9 of Angular. Now it has been removed. The version 9 has been removed. In the SB-dashlet itself, we have clearly mentioned. If we go back to SB-dashlet ka readme, here if you see, we have said 6.0.0 ng version is v14. Angular version. This is ng means nothing but Angular. Angular version is v14. Okay. So 6.0.5 is the one which we are using. Sorry. Okay, 6.0.5, and here also it is 6.0.5, which we are latest downloading. Okay, once you download, it's again in npm module. Download whatever module is exposed from the npm module. You have to again import it. If you see, I'll just search for this particular thing. Control C and search it here. Control V. It is too slow, is it? Okay. There is report module. In the report module, they have imported the dashlight module completely. Okay. Now, again, when they do this, they got all the things like all the charts, all the tables, and all the file downloading capability that has been built in the SB-dashlet, and we are using it. To use SB-dashlets, there is a requirement of report services. Backend which runs as report services. The whole thing has been explained in what is it? Data stream. It has clearly explained how the report services works. How can you create a new report? All those things has been explained in that data stream. I am not going to explain all these things. I am going to explain how we are consuming it. Okay. I'll just go and I'll just try see whether it is available for me. I'll just say staging.zenber.org. Only thing is you need to have a credential which can consume the report. Okay. Org admins, again, org admins can have all the reports available for them. There is no restriction. They don't need an extra permission to see because they are org admins. Okay, I am not an org admin right now. I'll
They need the report admin and
report admin to create, but report viewer, I think admin will directly get that. I don't know. You just have to check with the learn team for the reporting things, whether the roles, depending on the roles, whether they have exposed it or not. As I remember, org admin has all the rights. I don't know. It may have changed it. They may have changed it. I'm not very clear on that. As I remembered, org admin had all the, maybe when they introduced the report admin and report viewer roles, they would have had updated the role functionality also. What is happening? Great. Okay, so login. It was already logged in. So admin reports. I'll just check. Give me 1 minute. Whether this person has a report viewer. Yeah, he has report viewer. So this guy is not an admin, but he has a report admin and report viewer access. When you go to admin reports, so yeah, I'll do an F12. I'll just go to profile again, clear this, and so report download. Okay, it is cached. Great. List. This is the one. Yeah. Okay, it is not cached. Nice. So the API that they have exposed from report services, report list. Okay, when you do that report list, what will happen? You will get back for this particular organization all the reports which are generated for this. All the reports which are generated will be coming here, and each report will have report IDs available with it. That I am not sure how they are creating it. I think Druid, whatever they have explained in Druid and all, you can just go through the session recording. You will understand how they have created the reports and how you can create a new report also. And it has to be published. If the report viewer has to see it, it has to be published. Okay. So again, when you see here, these are the reports that you have, and when you click on it, there will be an API, there will be a JSON which will be pushed into your, when they created a report, a JSON will be pushed into a blob storage. That JSON you are calling it. If you see, this is the JSON which we called, and it will be decorated depending on the JSON. Once the JSON is back, if the JSON has correct data of the charts, it will decorate the UI. That is how it is. Okay, we are not writing anything special. A JSON comes, read the JSON, understand whether it is in the correct format, decorate it in the UI. And decorating also, portal is not doing it. It is done by the SB-dashlets. Why is it done by the SB-dashlet? Same report can be seen in the mobile also, if they have access. I don't know whether they have exposed it or not. Not all the reports can be seen in reports. Only course progress or something like that.
Progress only you can say.
Yeah, that will be a table. That will not be a chart.
Only view, like the tabular.
Tabular view. Yeah, that's a table view which is exposed. That you can see it in both mobile and portal. But that is also coming from SB-dashlets only. Okay. So I don't know why it is taking so much time. Huh? No, Wi-Fi. Okay, yeah, Wi-Fi is horrible. Okay, so you got data. This is called as big data types, and they have charts. Okay, I don't know whether they have all. There is only one thing. Okay, sorry, there is no charts available.
When you open the ETB reports, maybe the charts are there.
This is staging. I have not showed everything. There is nothing available in staging actually.
I think it is there, Rajeev. Just put ETB. Yeah.
I don't know whether they have it. I'll just still try. I have no guarantees.
I remember seeing.
No, see data. No, they have flushed the data and cleaned up.
Retired, yeah. Open what is live.
Yaudu?
You can go on the first one or the 3
Okay.
are live. Yeah, 3 first one.
First one only. Okay. I don't know. As I remembered, most of the data were flushed actually, because they are making it down. So they removed.
One credential.
No, I don't want to. It's okay. It's okay. I'll just. This is the charts. Okay, there are charts. There is no data maybe. That's why charts are not drawn. These are the charts. This is how it comes. If you have data, it will draw itself. Okay. So nothing special in this. And similar to that, you have summary also, tabular structure.
So the
Okay.
API which are fetching this data,
Mhm.
it is same for mobile?
Yes,
API solution?
it will be same.
Actually, I'm getting some, not in the reports, in the profile section, I'm getting an issue. The data.
Profile section doesn't have report data.
No reports, just a profile detail.
No. This is
About
the-
the APIs I'm actually, yeah. That's
which API is you are asking for?
Uh,
This is reports.
this
This is dashlet related things. You are asking for which API you are getting
API,
data.
I don't know the endpoint actually. The profile data is mismatched.
No.
Yeah.
What is the API is the main thing. Na? Without API, how can I say what is the problem?
That is my question. I want to ask you which API is actually presenting that data. That is my question to you. I want to just know the API name.
Awesome.
Because
Should I
actually
say google.com? No, I'm not genius, so that I can understand ki what API is getting
It is
called.
Data actually. I just
What
want
is the
to know.
data?
I can show you if you can. Just go to the profile section.
Okay.
Actually, I'm struggling to get the name. Scroll down. No. Not here. There is a section for my detail. I wish to share my data with.
The submit
client.
date. Oh,
There's a section for it. After this, mobile number and all. Yeah, this one.
okay, it is that submit details section. The
What is that?
consent,
Can you-
what they give.
We don't have it at all.
No, for major
So we have it in
user.
Diksha only.
Maybe it is for Diksha.
No, that comes for
But this
that comes for
same
major
detail now.
user.
I'm getting.
That may be for the the state users. I am not
that
sure.
is a
Custodian
Custodian
also
user.
it comes, but
Okay.
it has to be a major user, not a minor user,
What is major user?
who's above 18.
Okay. This is above 18 only. This is content
I-
creator.
No, he's
Staging
a
credentials
state-
and all,
he's a
now it will
custodian,
be
Yeah.
years, now then they will go and change 17, whatever they want.
No, these are testing credentials.
Yeah. These are testing credentials. So I am not
just
very
want to
sure.
know-
Okay, if I see that, it is actually profile from the profile details only. So profile details.
Not related to.
Yeah, no.
and-
Profile details.
Yeah,
Just,
profile
I am telling you the API name.
API name, okay. Profile details. okay, got it. Because I'm getting the same data and it is perfect in mobile, but in the here portal, the data is missed. That
Okay,
is
maybe
the thing.
maybe you have to check with what is coming back and what are we showing.
Yes.
It is profile details ka data. So it's like user read. It will be called a user read. The API will be v3 user read. V3 user read. Once you get the user read, all the details of the user will be there. Within that metadata, some things will be captured and seen. I think that whatever you are seeing is a location details, right?
Yeah, it's a I think personal detail or something. I wish to share my data with this.
Okay, it is consent. It is consent page.
Yeah,
That entire page, what we are looking at the screen is profile page.component.ts file, also HTML file.
Yeah.
There we are actually incorporating other components using the selector. You can just select the element, see what is that Angular selector name, go to that component and see what is the ng on it. See what is the methods getting called.
Store it also.
So you can go to the page profile page component.
Yeah.
Okay,
Select the element in the HTML, see what is the selector. Now go to that element and see ng on in it, what the API is getting called and what the methods have been, conditions are working on. That's how we trace back to the component.
The metadata of the API response will be same for me as well as for mobile.
So that's why actually I'm asking that same API is for mobile and same for.
Maybe the metadata that portal is using may be different than the metadata that mobile is using.
See, the question, it's a broader perspective what you're asking. At this point of time, this component is calling that API. Is it common? So, as human tendency knowledge, we can't be a Wikipedia for every APIs and pages, right? So, what I would recommend is go to the profile page, Rajeev. Okay. Just give me a profile page.
Profile page, okay.
The guys front end, please have a look at this for next 3 minutes. I'll give a glimpse how to
debug,
trace back to the particular component, pinpoint what we are looking. Okay. So as we are seeing that all page form configs and we are incorporating many form configs, layouts and everything. Now how do I debug and it?
Yeah. See, what he is saying is go to profile. Yeah. There is a user search API.
No, don't go to the API.
API layers. I don't want. Okay, fine. I want
go to elements.
Yeah, I want to see what is this element. Okay.
Best example is like the learner passbook. This will be in the profile page only.
No, it's okay. We will go with the section only. You can see this one.
No. I wanted to show Angular component,
okay,
Rajeev.
Okay, components you want, is that? Continue learning.
1 second. Very component select ಮಾಡಿ. So that it will be in a different component.
ಯಾವುದಿದೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ?
ಲರ್ನರ್ ಪಾಸ್ಬುಕ್ ಇದನ್ನು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸೊ
div ಅಂತಲೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಕಣ.
ನ್ಯಾವಿಗೇಟ್ ಟು ದ ಟಾಪ್. 1 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕೊಡಿ ಸರ್.
ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆ ಕಣ ನ್ಯಾವಿಗೇಟ್. ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಬಾ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟು ಅದರಿಂದ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಬಾ. ಇನ್ನಿದು ಮೈ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಅದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೇ ಕಾಂಪೊನೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಪ್ರೊಫೈಲ್ ಕಾಂಪೊನೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೊಫೈಲ್ ಕಾಂಪೊನೆಂಟ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬಿಡು ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
ಪ್ರೊಫೈಲ್ ಐ ವಾಂಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಶೋ ದೆಮ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಹೌ ಡು ವಿ ಲುಕ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದಟ್.
Okay, go to the main page and show them how it can be debugged.
Okay, this is a better example. Okay, so we are looking at different page. I am not taking the profile because I've been touched with a long time with the profile page. So we have reports page. Okay, so URL can be whatever. We are looking at this page. Okay, zoom. Okay. Let's say some page. We are looking at a page and we want to see, I want to see where this drop down value is getting appended. Forget about the form config and everything. I would just want to see which component it belongs to. I want to see what is the API getting called so that this multiple domain or this list is getting populated and painted on the web, right? These are developer mindset we have to debug. As an Angular, as a front end, what we used to do is, what we actually should do is, as a best practice, go to that and inspect this element, okay, and just traverse back to the root, okay. So I've seen that that is an A tag, okay. So this is an element. I go traverse back. I fold all the child divs. I see this is an app solutioning list component. Now, if you go back to the code, can you go back and search this component?
Yeah.
This is the way, not only this, Sunbird project, any Angular project you take, inspect that element, copy the selector, search it. It might be calling one API or 100 API.
Yeah,
One
there is the
component
selector.
might have 20 different selector incorporated and it works on ng if condition. Okay. Why I am telling this is like, we have an issue we've been discussing, particular component where it is coming. Just inspect that. What is the div element? Go to the class name, ID name, copy that. See when it is getting enabled. Based on the API response, are we switching back to that element or we are showing it, hiding it? That we can just go directly and dig deep into it. Yeah. So this is thanks Rajeev. Solutioning listing component. This is a pay component which is incorporated in different component. Okay. That's how the lazy loading or the folder architecture is suggested in any of the Angular project. We'll not be writing altogether different and we will not be calling it. I'm scoping it to the Angular because front end track I'm talking,
Yeah.
Node.js comments will be a different one. I'm focusing on only Angular. Okay. So that's how we debug. So that will help you to solve any of the issue in any of the project in the Angular. Right?
So
Thanks,
for
Rajeev.
your answer, if you say I want to see the profile, if you go with the profile, user profile, user service. Okay, I don't want to do that. Again, I'll come back to this and say reduce this. Go to profile. And let's assume I'll search this one, inspect. Okay, app landing section. I have app landing section, then related position, blah blah blah. Then all. This is in profile user label. I'll just use this one. Okay.
And you can use the class name. In case you get confused, take the class name and search. It will be, it is not a duplicate which will be applicable on particular div style. Right? So the class name. This is something hacky way when you want to debug the application.
This is my pass. I want to see what is coming from where. Yeah.
So actually, if you see, this is coming from profile page component. Okay. Now I can understand what are there in the profile page component. You go through it. How many divs are there? It's again not rocket science. I am not who's invented this. This has been. This is how the developers has to work.
It's been available for a long time.
Yeah. So either class names or the tags, the selectors, Angular selectors that you want to use, you can use it and debug it. Okay. So this completes our dashlet also. I did not want too much in dashlet because creation side it has already been covered with the report services. We will only consume it. Okay. There is one more type of reports which you can, if you are in course administrator, or let's say I don't want to call course administrator. There is nothing called as course admin in our use case. It's called as course mentors. Let's assume you are the mentor, or he created the course and made you as a mentor. Now it is your ownership of that particular course to see that not the entire course. There will be a course is never trackable. Okay, a batch is one which is trackable. When I say why I said this is a course, let's assume, can have the lifetime of 50 years, 100 years until it is retired because it is a content. But let's assume you want to have a batch for next 3 months. Do you every 3 months you keep on creating the same course? No. What you will do, you have this one course, you create a batch for that particular course from today to 3 months, and enrollment can happen only in the first 1 month. Because I would have taught so much in first 1 month, after 1 month if you register to that batch, you will not get the context. So I can bound you to enroll within this timeline. Okay, there is an option of that also. So when a course which is trackable, you can create a batch to it. Okay, that batch will have a start date, end date. Similar to that, we will have some other metadata like you should have a name to it, you should have a description to it, so that it will be easier for everyone to understand what is this batch all about and all those things. And then if he is the creator of the batch, you can be the mentor. He'll say, okay, I am good in creating. Now I don't know how to teach this one. You are good in teaching. You become the mentor of this batch. So you can say, okay, I want to get this for these many. With Diksha's use case, all batches are open batches. Anybody can come in and enroll into your batch if it is open, if it is created within the timeline. Let's say the enrollment timeline is 15 days from now. Anybody who has Diksha's credential can come in and join your batch. Okay.
So when I say batch, it's basically a list of users who are planning to
No.
enroll into a course.
No.
Is that?
A batch is a, okay, I don't want to explain what is batch here, but I'll give you a glimpse of it. It is nothing but a method to say that this trackable item is available for consumption from this date to this date, and I can give you a certificate after you complete it. For that only batch is there.
Okay.
By choice, collections is a group of contents. They don't have their own credentialing. Sorry, once you complete it, I need to give you the credentialing and all. They don't have anything. They are independent of it. Batch is one which can be connected to it. Any trackable content can have a batch. You can create a batch start date, end date, enrollment end date. Then you can have a discussion within the batch. Let's assume there are 50 students who joined your batch. They want to discuss about one topic. They can discuss on their own in that. And then there is, I think that discussion also is going to happen in one more session in Learn itself, back in the track. And then we have mentoring of the batch. He can create a batch and make you as a mentor. Then it is open batch. Anyone can come and start it. The next thing is you can, once you completed the course or once you completed the entire content of the course, you can get a credentialing out of it. That is called as certificate of a batch. Okay. That is again associated with the batch, not with the course. It's only with the batch.
So it is basically it is a standard duration of a course.
Exactly. Yeah. And one course can have only one open batches.
Makes sense.
And then once the open batch is completed, you can create one more batch. Okay. You can create an upcoming batches also. Like let's say you created a course now, but you said after 15 days all my contents will be created in the course. I want to start it after 15 days. You can create. Okay. And then once you did all these things, why I came to the batches is once you did all these things, I got 50 enrollments into the batch. Now I want to see the progress of it, each one. That is called as one more exhaust, progress exhaust. Okay, that again reports they will be doing it in the what is it called data things, yeah. But we can also consume as a course mentor. You can log in. You have an option of view dashboard. How many got enrolled? How many got how much progress? All those things can be seen in your dashboard. Okay. So depending on the credential that you have, you can see that. But you should be the mentor of that batch, or you should have a mentoring role within the system. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's it on dashlets. I will conclude my session. I think next it is desktop. How to means what is a desktop? How is it getting created? How the code structure is there, and how it is if you get any issues, how to debug and all those things. Rajesh will be taking it up. I'll end my session. If you have any questions, you can point it to me.
I have a very basic question.
Nothing is basic. Yeah.
What exactly are you referring to?
Dashlet is a UI. Okay, the question is, what do you mean by dashlet? Dashlet is a UI which has charts. Let's say there are 50 types of chart. Do you want to create it all 15 each of the clients? No. You create it in one place, like the bar chart, line chart, pie charts, all those things, and big data, big numbers. Not big data, big numbers.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
you know that keyword of dashlets is something which we named it.
Named it, that's all.
It's a group of charts at a single point, single point.
Not only charts, tables,
Yeah, I mean,
and you need a file download. Let's assume you want to download it as a CSV. You can download it as a CSV. You can export the charts as PDFs. All these functionalities, which is a chart related functionality.
Basically, the word dashlet seems like something like combined from two different words. So I was
Yes,
just trying to
so-
understand what
Ah.
exactly you were referring to. You know?
So you can say we are trying to show the dashboard.
Dashboards.
And one of the unit is the dashlet. Dashlet.
Okay.
Lattice means the one of the unit of the big component.
Yeah.
Of the dashboard component. One of the component is the dashboard. Got it.
Yeah. He has one more question.
Just a small. Yeah, so this dashlet is not built in 5.1, I suppose. Is it?
I just showed you it is using SB-dashlets -v9. I think you missed it out. I can still show it. It is not a problem. I'll just give him 1 minute.
So if you are any confusion like whether this is used in 5.1 or any releases, back to that release, go to the package.json, see whether it is there and what version is there. Makes sense.
So if I go back again here, I hope everyone is able to see this. If I go to this is Indian way of solving things.
Connector use ಮಾಡಿ.
Connector ಬೇಡ ನಂಗೆ. I have a HDMI port. No, I have an HDMI port.
ನಿನ್ನೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ.
ಹೇ, ನಿನ್ನೆನೂ ಕನೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ.
ನಿನ್ನೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕನೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ.
ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕನೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಬೇಕು ಕಣ, ನನಗೆ ಬೇಡ. I am independent of connector. Okay. So if you see, this is your SB-dashlet. This is version 5.1.0. Okay. So SB-dashlet V9. We had a V9 just to make sure that it supports Angular 9. Okay. Now we have removed that terminologies of V9 because every time we have to call it SB-dashlet V11, SB-dashlet V12. It doesn't make much of a sense. What we did was we called it as SB-dashlet, and for each one, let's say if I go to SB-dashlet this thing, we said 5.1.0 SB-dash. If you say it as SB-dashlet 5.1.0, you will get it for V10. SB-dashlet 5.1.1, you get it for V11. SB-dashlet 5.1.2, you will get it for V12. SB-dashlet 5.1.3, you will get it for V13. It is saying you are done, your time is also done. Okay. Connector kodo. I don't have connector. Okay. So with the Angular 14 we have used 6.0.5. I think I showed you with 6.0.5 release branch. It is there with 6.0.5 only of SB-dashlet. Now it is not called V9s and all. We will directly call it as SB-dashlets. And if you want to see, you can go to, okay, I have already opened. So yeah, this is SB-dashlets. Thank you. Right now it is going on. So I'll just say Sunbird project. I'll open it in one more tab. If you see the versions, we are all having the same versions. Okay. And if I npm, okay, SB-dashlets. The internet is not so fast. Yeah, too much. ಈಗಲೂ ಬರಬೇಕಂತೆ ರಾಜೇಶ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಕಣ ರಾಜೇಶ. Okay, so we have SB-dashlet V9 and V14 is also available. I think this guy has already published it with the V14 branch, but Ext Engineering has opened it up with SB-dashlets. Okay, fine. So yeah, these are individual developers who has published it. Yeah. So you asked, right? How can we push it with the individual user credential? These guys are developers. They are contributors also. Okay. They have published on their own in the NPM. Okay.
But the community will use only scope.
The project Sunbird ones, which is there with the engineering thing.
Is it compulsory to use this same community, or we can make it our own private thing?
What do you mean by private? NPM is public.
No, not that way. I mean, on my environment, I can put it.
No, I don't. NPM when you publish, it becomes available for all the NPM community.
No, this Sunbird project, Sunbird community, I'm asking.
I didn't get you.
I mean to say that when I want to publish my content.
If you are publishing an NPM module,
Yeah.
NPM package,
Yes.
it is available for everyone.
No, not just in this community, projects and but under this community. Is it compulsory to use this?
If you want, you can name it as, okay, I think Rajesh has created one more. It is called as SVG editor. Okay. SVG editor. Okay, NGSVG editor. Huh? Okay, I don't remember the name because he has created it. This was a nice project that he did, and why it is not coming?
Space.
Hyphen?
NG hyphen,
Ah.
SVG hyphen editor.
That's what I thought. So he has created on his own and he has published it.
Yes, that's sorry.
You publish it as you like. You can give your name. Okay. So you can see that it has been published by Rajesh Kumaravel. Okay. It's his NPM login. Okay. Which one? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. This is how you publish it. Okay. Individual publishing.
Yeah.
Hope I have answered all the questions on Dashlet as well as their forms. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thank you.